Y'all, all my videos are for entertainment purposes, so let's keep it real. Don't try any of this at home.
Oh boy, it's time for Toady to go explore the waterways.
Welcome to a tiny magical little kingdom called Bithaca. Oh, my begonias, there you are. We're so happy you came. All our adventures are for the young at heart. No matter what our age, this is our version of gnome gardening. Episode 14, Waterways. Well, hey! Welcome back, y'all. It is awfully nice to see you again. To support my channel, subscribe and click the notification button so you know whenever I release a new video. If you like my channel, please smash the like button. Come on, y'all. Let's go see what adventures is happening today. Toady Frog was minding his own business when he was out exploring some of the waterways within the Dragon's Den that connects up to Browback Mine when he bumps heads with Kai Seahorse from Mermaid Lagoon.
Ah!
They both said as they each grabbed a hold of their own heads and turned to see what they had hit. In unison, they exclaimed at each other,
Why'd you do that?
And in total consternation at this reply,
Me? Why'd you do that?
This was followed by a slight pause as they just as suddenly stopped and stared at each other. It was eventually interrupted with a good-natured fit of laughter at the whole scene. Common sense prevailed and they each apologized to the other.
Well now, haven't seen you before. Whereabouts do you live?
Asked Toady.
Why, my name is Kai Seahorse, and I live up in the Mermaid Lagoon area.
Kai answered.
I travel all over Bithaca's underground waterways and meet all kinds of critters.
He continued.
And you would be? Oh, I apologize. My name is Toady Frog, and I live in the entryway field area, and I too travel the waterways.
Toady replied and continued.
I have not as yet found the entryway to the lagoon's waterway system.
At this point, the conversation went off on all the paths that each had taken and on how to find them for the other one to take as well.
Oh, I now have so many more places that I can go,
Kai said, just so thrilled at the thought.
Why, thank you, Kai, for telling me of the lagoon's waterway entrance. That gives me more places to look.
Toady said, excited about the pathways that he too could now take.
Look for what?
Asked Kai at Toady's reply.
Oh, I'm on a mission today.
Toady answered.
Oh?
Kai asked, very intrigued.
Oh yes, Kai. A robot has been seen in the waterways area of the Dragon's Den, but no one has been able to talk to the critter yet. I just wanted to find it and ask if it was okay. Ah, Toby's okay,
Kai replied.
You know his name?
Toady asked, rather surprised.
Of course I do. I run into him all the time, taking care of the old tunnels that I was telling you about. Toby said that it was his job to keep those tunnels safe.
Kai said.
Do you think I can meet him?
Toady asked.
I don't know. Toby's kind of shy and afraid of, well, hurting or everything. If he don't want you to meet him, most likely you never will.
Kai informed Toady. Suddenly, Kai remembered he was to help Chirp today and exclaimed as he softly thumped his head with his hand.
Hi-ya! Well, Toady, I wish you luck today, but I gotta go home now. You might try around level 8 on down in the Dragon's Caverns.
Kai told him and waved goodbye to head on over to the underground coral reef to help Chort Blue Tangfish, as he had promised and re-promised him, to help clean the coral reef. As Toady watched Kai leave, he mumbled to himself.
Level 8 down? Just how many levels are there?
Toady wondered about this, but he shrugged it off as one of those questions you weren't going to get an answer to anytime soon, and began to swim downward to find the current he wished to follow, and off he went. Toady found the turn he wanted to take, and soon he was descending level after level of one beautiful stream after another, until he reached level 8. Once here, he maintained his position of floating gradually so as to survey the landscape before him on the surface of the streams and rivers. Unsatisfied with this, he jumped up on the banks and began to explore. He could sense that Toby was here, but he just couldn't find him.
Toby, are you here?
He asked as he continued to search. This was met with silence, though.
My friend Kai said I might find you here today.
Toady continued.
My name is Toady Frog, and I live in the entryway of the field area. We like telling adventure stories around the campfire. You are more than welcome to come and join us.
Toady invited as he continued to walk around and explore. Toby Robot slowly moved towards Toady as he remained hidden behind one thing or another as he did so.
Why is this frog here? And how does he know my name? Ah, yes, Kai told him.
He said to himself as he heard Toady mention Kai.
I will just see what he wants and leave.
Toby thought to himself as he stealthily moved closer and closer to Toady. A lone eyeball blinked questioningly out at Toady from behind the waterfall as he worked up his courage to ask Toady what he wanted. As Toady had been facing the other way, he had not seen Toby, so, as he was quite startled by the sudden request from behind him, he jumped. Well, as you know, he is a frog, so he jumped straight up and was now hugging one of the many rocks upon the ceiling. Problem was, they are slimy and slippery, causing Toady to fall back into the water. All of this also startled Toby, who hightailed himself down several levels away from the scary frog. Toady once again jumped out of the water, but Toby was gone. He looked everywhere on level 8. After a while, he decided to search more levels, and once again, he could sense that Toby was there.
I'm sorry, Toby, if I frightened you. I guess I'm a bit of a scaredy cat.
He laughingly said about himself as he tried to coax Toby out of his hiding spot. Toby thought to himself about missing being around others, and he found Toady to be kind of interesting, but he was scared and questioned if he should trust him or not. Deciding he really wanted a friend, Toby stepped out from his hiding place and stood face to face with Toady.
Well, hello there. Don't be afraid.
Toady said as reassuringly as he could.
Bithacans had no idea that you were even down here. Are you okay?
He asked Toby out of concern.
Bithacans all left long ago.
Toby answered as he had watched them all leave. This stumped Toady a little bit until he remembered one of Moira's history lessons.
Are you talking about the first immortals of Bithaca?
Toady asked in utter surprise.
We were the first here and made Bithaca ourselves.
Toby replied.
Wow, you've been here alone all these years?
Toady asked, surprised by this information and really sad for Toby at his loneliness.
I came with the first immortals to Bithaca and helped to establish the kingdom. My job was to make headroom in the tunnel system within Browback Mine. I did this by digging up the floor in an area to lower down a tunnel, or by carving up the ceiling to raise up that area's headroom. Everyone loved living here until we got discovered and had to flee to another world. I have no portal of any kind, and as a robot, I am too slow to make it to another known portal of others I had known. As I was deep within the caverns when the alarm set off, upon reaching the surface, everyone was gone. Only Toby remained.
Toby said. Toady was just a-fighting back the tears for the heartbreaking life of a tiny little robot.
I'm so sorry, Toby, that the immortals have become lost into another world and were unable to return. They did send messages to let the magical realms know all about Bithaca and for us to return to find their lost treasured man. But we soon lost contact with them and never knew what this treasure or who this treasure was.
Please come with me to the surface and meet everyone, Toady asked. This thought terrified the poor little robot.
Oh dear, I don't think I can. It's been too long, and I'm afraid of, well, almost everything now.
Toby said, scared out of his wits.
I'm just fine right here. The tunnels have been my home forever.
Oh, this just won't do, Toady thought to himself, but what can he do? This poor shy thing will never leave these tunnels.
You really shouldn't be alone anymore, Toby. I promise to help you to readjust to being around others again.
Toady offered, genuinely wanting to help.
How about we just take it slow, and one critter at a time? You can even meet them here in the tunnels. In that way, they won't be so scary. That be okay?
Toady suggested.
Even though I'm scared of everything, I miss meeting others. I miss being with others. So yes, please. I'd like that.
Toby said, rather happy at this turn of events.
Well, okay then.
Toady said, and then offered to introduce him to the king.
The king is really going to like you, and all you have been doing for Bithaca. He's a great king with a big heart who loves all of Bithaca and all who live here.
Toady said. Toby smiled as King Blaze sounded like a true king.
Would you like to meet him today? I will be right back. You wait right here.
Toady offered and was off before Toby could even answer. Toby really wanted to make friends again, and he waited for Toady to return with the king, so he went and sat down on the rocks and waited and waited. Sometime later, King Blaze strolled into view, and Toby found himself quite brave and went to greet him. Why, King Blaze walked right up to Toby and hugged him. Then he welcomed him home.
Home?
Toby thought to himself.
Yes, even though I have never left, I'm finally home. I belong, and there are critters who truly wish to see me. I may never be as brave as I was before, but that's okay. I will continue to be the best me I can be, all while finding my courage to let others see that too.
With this thought in mind, Toby bravely held a wonderful conversation with King Blaze and Toady Frog, and genuinely looked forward to having more in the future. That is, in between finding his courage to do so. It was sure nice spending some time with you. Y'all come on back for our next adventure. We'd love to see you. Until we meet again, be kind to one another. Bye now.
We sure do thank you all for tapping those buttons. Like, subscribe, and share.
May the magic of wonder always fill your heart.